No, don't play with those. Grandpa's going to show us something really cool. Okay?
This is a story of old Joe and young David. They worked at a little lumber yard not too far from where they lived. And old Joe was trying to disciple young David. Young David was...
Oh, sorry, Grandpa.
No problem. Young David had lived a pretty good life, and then he'd take off on a wild party with his buddies. But Joe was very, very patient. And Joe would take David to a football game or basketball game in season. One afternoon they were on their way to a football game, and it happened. Double fatality accident. They were standing by the wreckage brushing off their eternity-bound clothes. Joe was still in the daze of the blow. He said, "David, I've been trying to make a Christian out of you for a number of years, but it just didn't take. Now here we are, ready to go to eternity." And he said, "We have to make an accounting." He said, "Do you have the key to the pearly gates?" David said, "No, I don't have the key to the pearly gates. Do you have it, Joe?" He said, "Yes, I have it right here." He said, "Well, would you share it with me?" He said, "Well, David," he said, "that's something you can't share. We have to make the decisions ourselves and are responsible for ourselves." Well, David said, "Joe, one of the important ingredients of your discipling was to share." He said, "Would you share that key to the pearly gates with me?" He said, David, he said, "I have to agree. That's what I was in with my teachings." He said, "I'll just take it down the middle here." He said, "I'll give you this part, and I'll take this part." Just as they arrived at the pearly gates, St. Peter greeted them, discussed the accident, and St. Peter said, "Joe," he says, "I see your number of entries into the book of life with your name there." He said, "Do you have the key to the pearly gates?" He said, "I do." He handed it to St. Peter. St. Peter opened it up. And gave it to St. Peter. St. Peter looked at it. He said, "In truth, you have the key to the pearly gates. David," he said, "I don't see so much as a hen scratching in the book of life." He said, "This is eternity. The accounting is done right here." David said, "I didn't have the key to the pearly gates, but Joe said he would share it with me. Here it is, the key to the pearly gates, as he gave it to me." St. Peter opened it up, looked it up. He said, "Joseph," he said, "this is as much of a mess as you made of your life on earth. But this is eternity, and we have to get things squared away." Too many people, especially young people, don't realize that you have to be prepared all the time through life. Oh, David, he said, I see it all right now. He said, Joseph has shared the key to eternity with you. But he says, sad, sad situation. He has shared eternity with you. But I got terrible, terrible news for you. He said he has shared eternity with you. But he says you're at the wrong gate.
And that's a true story.
True story.
That is a true story. That's my favorite.